let's talk about the economy and the budget now, because last night a vote barely eked across the line for the budget framework. And I'm curious as to what those conversations looked like within your own party, because I know as someone who represents a district in Colorado, your constituents' needs are much different than Florida, much different than other states. So how did you come together with other Republicans and decide, hey, this is a compromise, this is what we need to get done?
Yeah, well, we know what we're doing is the right thing to do. First and foremost, there's lots being made from people on the left talking about Medicaid, but the reality is we're cutting waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid. In Colorado right now, you can get on Medicaid for under 90 days, so 89 days you can come in Colorado, get on Medicaid, and not show proof of citizenship. So you can be illegally here in the United States, and for 89 days, the citizens of the United States are going to pick up your health insurance. If we cut that out, it would save billions across the United States. Those are the kinds of reforms that are common sense, and you can do that without hurting services to people who legitimately are entitled to get that care. So those are the kind of reforms that we're talking about. Last night we had a vote on the budget resolution. It was a close vote. I was excited to see it was, all of the Republicans minus one Republican who voted with the Democrats to increase taxes by $4.5 trillion and to not root out waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid. So, I think as a party, we're doing well. We got to stick together and push this down the track. And we got to get out and tell the American people the truth about this reconciliation package and not let the others who oppose it, really drive the narrative.
Medicaid was a huge point of contention, as you noted. It was one of the headlines coming out of this resolution. And the Energy and Commerce Committee, which manages policy surrounding Medicare and Medicaid, is tasked now with finding over $800 billion in cuts. President Trump today vowed that Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security would not be touched. But when you're talking about fraud in Medicaid and waste in Medicaid, how is that over $800 billion? I mean, what does that look like? How do you get that number without slashing those types of programs?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the job of the Energy and Commerce Committee now, to go do the hard work of crafting this package. The chairman of that committee has assured the Republicans in the caucus, and he's assured me personally, that there's lots of ways to go at and get that money out of Medicaid and out of the system without impacting, folks who are on Medicaid and who need Medicaid. And so, whether it's cutting out middlemen that maybe are making a nice profit off of the government by the current laws and exploiting those current laws, or whether it is things like I mentioned, illegals being on, how about requiring work requirements for able-bodied recipients and things like that. These are all things that will save money, and it will be a better value for the American people. And frankly, it's a better deal for Medicaid. Here's the bottom line to the people who want to fuss and want to say, well, we shouldn't cut Medicaid or we shouldn't cut here or there. Well, where should we cut? Because we're almost $36 trillion in debt now. And I would just say, if people who can, it's easy to say, well, you can't cut there and you can't cut there, but that doesn't change the fact that we have to cut somewhere. And so we have to figure out how to make government smaller, because the federal government has been too big for too many years.